I stand in my driveway on a Sunday morning, coffee in hand, watching a massive moving truck back up to my house. My younger brother Tyler hops out, grinning like he just won the lottery. Behind him, his new wife steps out of a car packed with suitcases. "Morning, sis. Thanks for letting us use the house yesterday. Beautiful wedding, wasn't it?" He gestures to the truck. "Well, we're moving in now. Actually, this is my house. Always has been. I don't flinch." I cross my arms, smile, and nod toward my front door where my lawyer stands waiting. The morning sun feels too bright for what I'm witnessing. Harold, my attorney, steps forward from my porch with his briefcase in hand, his expression calm and professional. He's in his late 50s, with silver hair and the kind of face that inspires confidence. I hired him 3 days ago, when Tyler asked if he could use my house for his wedding. Something in my gut told me to be prepared. Tyler pulls folded papers from inside his jacket, still wearing that infuriating smile. "Before you try to kick me out, big sister, you should see these." He hands the documents to Harold, who adjusts his reading glasses and begins examining them. I move closer, my heart hammering against my ribs. The papers look official, too official. There's a county stamp at the top, a notary seal at the bottom, and worst of all, Tyler's name where mine should be. "This is a deed," Harold says quietly, his voice measured, "dated 3 years ago." "That's right," Tyler says, his confidence growing with every word. "Dad transferred the house to me before he died. He wanted me to have the family home." My coffee cup slips slightly in my hand. "What are you talking about? Dad never owned this house. I bought this house myself 5 years ago. I have the mortgage statements, the purchase agreement, everything." Tyler shakes his head like I'm a confused child. "See, that's where you're wrong. Dad owned this property through a trust. When he died 2 years ago, it transferred to me. All legal. All documented. My father died of a heart attack 26 months ago. The grief still hits me at unexpected moments. But this lie using his memory, makes my blood boil. My father never owned this house. I saved for years, worked double shifts at my marketing job, and bought this 3-bedroom ranch-style home in a decent neighborhood when I was 28 years old. I'm 33 now. Every mortgage payment has come from my bank account." Harold's face has gone from calm to concerned. "Ingrid, I need to examine these documents more thoroughly. This deed appears to have proper notarization and county registration." Amber, Tyler's new wife, finally speaks up. She's 26, blonde, and wearing an expression of smug satisfaction. "We didn't want to do it this way, but you've been so difficult to talk to. Tyler's just claiming what's rightfully his." Difficult to talk to? My voice rises despite my effort to stay calm. "I let you use my house for your wedding yesterday, for free. Over 100 guests trampled through my home, and I cleaned for 3 days beforehand to make sure everything was perfect for you. And we appreciate that," Tyler says, his tone condescending. "Think of it as your wedding gift to us. Now, if you could grab whatever personal items you need and clear out, we'd like to start moving in." 2 men in blue work shirts emerge from the moving truck, carrying a couch. They look uncomfortable, clearly sensing the tension but unsure what to do. Tyler waves them forward. "Take it around back. We'll go through the garage." "Stop." Harold's voice cuts through the chaos. "Nobody moves anything until I verify these documents. Tyler, where did you obtain this deed?" "From the county clerk's office. Where else? It's all on file. Dad set up the trust years ago." Ingrid probably didn't know, because she was too busy climbing the corporate ladder to pay attention to family matters. The jab stings because there's a grain of truth in it. I did work long hours building my career, but I was there when Dad needed me. I helped him through chemotherapy when he had prostate cancer 7 years ago. I visited him every Sunday for dinner. I held his hand when he died in the hospital. "This doesn't make sense," I say, looking at Harold. "Tell him this doesn't make sense." Harold's expression is grim. "The document looks legitimate, but we need to investigate. Ingrid, do you have your purchase documents readily available?" "They're inside. In my office. In my house." "Our house," Amber corrects, examining her manicured nails. Something cold settles in my stomach. This isn't a misunderstanding or a bad joke. My brother, the kid I taught to ride a bike, the teenager I helped through algebra, the man I just hosted a wedding for, is trying to steal my house. Tyler, why are you doing this? He meets my eyes, and for just a moment, I see something flicker there. Guilt, maybe, or satisfaction. You've always had everything, Ingrid. The good grades, the good job, the nice house. Some of us deserve a break too. So you're taking mine? I'm taking what Dad wanted me to have. Harold closes his briefcase with a decisive click. I'm advising my client not to vacate this property. If you believe you have legitimate ownership, Tyler, we'll resolve this through proper legal channels. Until then, this is trespassing. Tyler laughs, actually laughs. Trespassing? On my own property? I don't think so. He pulls out his phone. Maybe we should let the police sort this out. 20 minutes later, 2 police officers stand in my driveway examining documents. Officer Martinez is younger, maybe 30, with kind eyes. Officer Chen looks older, more weathered, less interested in our drama. They pass Tyler's deed back and forth, comparing it to my purchase agreement that Harold retrieved from inside. This is complicated, Officer Martinez says finally. Both documents look legitimate. Mine is legitimate, I insist. I've lived here for 5 years. I pay the mortgage. I pay the property taxes. Everything is in my name. Officer Chen hands the papers back. Ma'am, this is a civil property dispute. We can't determine ownership. You'll need to take this to court. But he's trying to move into my house right now, today. Isn't that trespassing? Not if he has a deed claiming ownership, Officer Martinez says sympathetically. I understand this is difficult, but our hands are tied. This is for a judge to decide. Tyler steps forward, emboldened by the police presence. Officers, I'd like to move forward with occupying the property. As you can see, I have legal documentation. You can't be serious, I say, my voice cracking. You're really going to let him do this? Officer Chen shrugs. We're not letting anyone do anything. We're telling you both to get lawyers and go to court. Until then, we can't forcibly remove someone who has documentation claiming ownership. While we're talking, the movers have grown restless. Tyler notices and waves them forward. Go ahead, start unloading. No, I move to block them, but Harold gently pulls me back. Don't give him ammunition, he whispers. Physical confrontation will only hurt your case. I watch, helpless, as these strangers carry furniture into my home. Amber walks through my front door like she owns the place, because apparently, according to some forged documents, she does. She disappears inside, and I can hear her voice carrying through the open windows, making comments about paint colors and furniture arrangements. I want to go inside, I tell Harold. I need my things, my clothes, my laptop, my files. Let me try. Harold approaches Tyler, who's directing movers toward the garage. Tyler, Ingrid needs to collect her personal belongings. Surely you can allow that while this matter is being resolved. Tyler considers this, then shakes his head. How do I know she won't take things that belong to the house, or damage property? No, I think it's better if she stays out until the courts decide. Those are my belongings, my clothes, my computer, my personal files. Allegedly, Tyler says. For all I know, you're planning to steal valuables, or sabotage the place out of spite. I've heard stories about vindictive siblings. The audacity leaves me breathless. Officer Martinez looks uncomfortable but doesn't intervene. Officer Chen is already walking back to the patrol car, clearly done with this situation. Harold tries again. This is unreasonable. Miss Williams needs access to her personal property. Take it up with a judge, Tyler replies cheerfully. Officers, are we done here? Officer Martinez nods reluctantly. Yes, but I'd advise both parties to settle this quickly and legally. These family disputes can get ugly. As the police car pulls away, Tyler calls out to a locksmith van that's just arrived. Of course he called a locksmith. He planned every detail. The locksmith, an older man with a tool belt, heads straight for my front door. You're changing the locks? My voice sounds distant, like it belongs to someone else. It's my house, Tyler says simply. I need to secure my property. Within an hour, I'm standing in my own yard, locked out of my own home. I can see my living room through the front window. The couch where I've spent countless evenings reading. The coffee table I refinished myself. The framed photos of my parents on the mantel. Harold guides me to his car, parked on the street. Ingrid, I know this feels impossible right now, but we're going to fight this. I'm filing an emergency motion first thing tomorrow morning. It's Sunday, so the courts are closed, but we'll have a hearing by Wednesday at the latest. What do I do until then? Where do I sleep? All my clothes are in there, my toothbrush, everything. Do you have friends or family nearby? I think of my Aunt Patricia, my mother's sister, but she lives 3 hours away. My closest friend, Julie, is out of town for work. I'll get a hotel. Keep all receipts. We'll include those costs in the damages we're seeking. I drive to a budget hotel near the highway, the kind with thin walls and questionable stains on the carpet. It costs $79 a night, which will drain my savings fast. I buy a toothbrush and toothpaste from the vending machine in the lobby, along with a package of aspirin for the headache building behind my eyes. In the generic hotel room, I sit on the edge of the bed and try to process what just happened. 24 hours ago, I was hosting my brother's wedding in my backyard. The ceremony was beautiful. Tyler actually cried during his vows. Amber looked radiant in her white dress. I felt generous, happy to help them celebrate, hoping it would bring us closer after years of distance. Now I understand. The wedding wasn't about celebration. It was about establishing presence, about having witnesses who saw him at his house. It was a setup. My phone buzzes with a text from Tyler. Found some of your clothes. We'll box them up. You can pick them up tomorrow. Just ring the doorbell. The casual cruelty of it makes me want to throw the phone across the room. Instead, I call Harold. He's texting me about boxing up my clothes, like he's doing me a favor. Harold's sigh is heavy. Don't respond. Don't engage. Let me handle all communication from here on out. Get some rest, Ingrid. Tomorrow we start fighting back. But I can't rest. I lie awake on the scratchy hotel sheets, staring at the water-stained ceiling, wondering how my own brother could betray me like this. We weren't especially close as adults, but we weren't enemies either. What changed? When did he start hating me enough to do this? The answer comes to me around 3 in the morning. It wasn't sudden. Tyler always felt like he deserved more. Growing up, he complained that I got better grades without trying. That I got the nicer bedroom. That Dad was prouder of me. I thought it was normal sibling rivalry. I didn't realize it was festering into something darker. Now he's taken the thing I worked hardest for, the symbol of my independence and success, and he's sleeping in my bed, in my house, probably feeling like he finally won. Monday morning arrives with rain, which feels appropriate for my mood. Harold calls at 8. I've filed the emergency motion. We have a hearing scheduled for Wednesday at 10 in the morning. Judge Helen Bradshaw is presiding. She's fair, thorough. This is good. 2 days, I say. I have to wait 2 more days. Use the time productively. Gather any documents you have related to the house purchase. Bank statements showing mortgage payments, property tax receipts, anything that proves continuous ownership and occupancy. I spend Monday morning at a coffee shop with my laptop, logging into online accounts and printing documents at the library. The paper trail is extensive and clear. 5 years of mortgage payments, all from my account, property tax payments in my name, homeowners insurance policies, utility bills. Everything points to me as the legitimate owner. But Tyler has that deed. That official-looking, notarized, county-stamped deed. Where did he get it? Harold calls again at noon. I've been investigating Tyler's deed. It's connected to a property trust allegedly established by your father. The trust documents claim the house was purchased by your parents and held in trust for the family. That's impossible. My parents never owned this house. Mom died when I was 22. That was 11 years ago. I bought this house 5 years ago, long after she was gone. I know, but Tyler has manufactured an alternate history. According to his documents, your parents bought the property years ago through a trust, then it transferred to Tyler when your father died. It's an elaborate fiction, but it's documented. How is that possible? Don't these things get verified? Usually, yes. But if someone has access to forged notary seals and knows how to file documents correctly, they can slip through the cracks. I'm tracking down the notary listed on Tyler's documents, a man named Donald Wright. While Harold investigates, my day deteriorates further. My boss, Susan, calls me into a video meeting. I'm working from the coffee shop, trying to maintain some normalcy. Ingrid, I need to talk to you about your performance lately. My stomach drops. Susan, I know I've been distracted, but I'm dealing with a legal situation that's temporary. This situation has been affecting your work for days. You missed the client meeting last week. You were late with the Henderson proposal. And I heard you're not prepared for Friday's presentation to the board. Friday's presentation. I'd completely forgotten. It's the biggest pitch of the quarter, a potential 6-figure account. I can be ready. I just need a few more days to focus. Ingrid, this company can't afford unreliable employees right now. We're restructuring, cutting costs. I'm sorry, but we're going to have to let you go. The words don't register at first. Let me go? You're firing me? We're eliminating your position. You'll receive 2-week severance and your remaining vacation pay. HR will send the paperwork. The video call ends. I sit in the coffee shop, surrounded by the chatter of strangers, and realize I just lost my job. The job that pays my mortgage. The career I built over 10 years. Gone. I call Harold, barely holding back tears. I just got fired. I'm so sorry, Ingrid. This is a lot to handle at once. How am I supposed to pay the mortgage now? How do I afford hotel bills and legal fees without income? We'll figure it out. Focus on the hearing Wednesday. If we win, you'll have your house back and can rebuild from there. If we win, not when, if. By Tuesday afternoon, Harold has tracked down Donald Wright, the notary whose seal appears on Tyler's deed. They meet at a diner, and Harold calls me immediately after. Donald Wright is legitimate. He's been a notary for 20 years, but 3 years ago, his notary seal was stolen from his car. He filed a police report. He never notarized Tyler's documents. So it's forgery. We have proof. Yes, but we need to prove Tyler knew the seal was forged. He could claim he obtained the documents in good faith, that someone else committed the fraud. You don't believe that? No, I don't. But I need to build an airtight case. I'm also looking into Tyler's wife, Amber. She worked as a paralegal until 2 years ago. Why'd she stop? She was fired for ethics violations, falsifying documents for a client. This is her pattern, Ingrid. I think she's been helping Tyler create these fake records. Tuesday evening, I'm eating takeout in my depressing hotel room when my Aunt Patricia calls. She's my mother's younger sister, 62, retired, living in a small coastal town. Ingrid, honey, I've been seeing Tyler's Facebook posts. He's posting pictures of a house, saying it's his new place. It looks like your house. I explain the situation, and Patricia is silent for a long moment. That son of a gun. Your mother would be heartbroken. Did Dad ever mention anything about a trust or property arrangements to you? Never. Your father was proud of you for buying that house. He bragged about it to everyone. Said his daughter didn't need anyone's help, bought her own place at 28. There's no way he transferred it to Tyler. Tyler says Dad wanted him to have it. That I was too successful and didn't need it. Patricia scoffs. Your father loved you both equally, but he wasn't stupid. Tyler's been jumping from job to job his whole adult life. Why would your dad give him property when he can barely keep an apartment? Another piece clicks into place. Aunt Patricia, did Tyler ever ask you about family property? About Mom's estate or anything like that? There's a pause. Actually, yes. About 6 months ago, he called me out of the blue, asked questions about when your mom died, what assets she had, whether she owned any real estate. I thought it was odd, but he said he was organizing family records. 6 months. Tyler has been planning this for at least 6 months, maybe longer. The wedding was just the final move in a long game. That night, I can't stop thinking about it. Every detail was calculated. Getting engaged, setting a wedding date, asking to use my house, making sure plenty of people saw him there. Creating the illusion that he had some connection to the property. Then moving in immediately after, when I'd be too confused and exhausted to react properly. He knew me well enough to exploit my kindness. He knew I'd say yes to hosting his wedding. He counted on it. Wednesday morning, I put on the only professional outfit I could buy with my dwindling cash, a simple navy dress and black flats from a discount store. Harold meets me at the courthouse, a stone building downtown with marble floors and the echo of serious conversations. Remember, stay calm no matter what happens, Harold advises. Don't react visibly to anything Tyler says. Judges notice everything. The courtroom is smaller than I expected, with wooden benches and fluorescent lights. Judge Helen Bradshaw is a stern-looking woman in her 60s with steel-gray hair pulled back tightly. She has the face of someone who's heard every lie and excuse imaginable. Tyler arrives with his lawyer, a man named Craig Patterson, who looks exactly like you'd imagine a sleazy attorney to look. Slicked back hair, expensive suit that's slightly too shiny, and a smile that doesn't reach his eyes. Amber sits in the gallery, watching with interest. Judge Bradshaw calls the case. Williams versus Williams, property dispute. I've reviewed the preliminary filings. Mr. Patterson, your client claims ownership based on a trust deed transfer. Miss Williams claims purchase and continuous ownership. Let's hear from Miss Williams first. Harold stands. Your Honor, my client purchased this property 5 years ago through legitimate means. We have extensive documentation. He presents a thick folder. Mortgage statements, property tax payments, utility bills, all in Miss Williams' name, covering 5 continuous years of ownership and occupancy. Judge Bradshaw examines the documents carefully. These appear to be in order. Mr. Patterson? Craig stands smoothly. Your Honor, while Miss Williams may have been occupying the property, the underlying ownership was always in trust. Her father established this trust years ago, and upon his death, the property transferred to my client, her brother, Tyler Williams. Let me see this trust documentation. Craig hands over Tyler's papers. The judge studies them with a frown. This deed is dated 3 years ago, notarized by a Donald Wright. Is Mr. Wright available to testify? Unfortunately not, Your Honor, but the documentation speaks for itself. Harold stands. Your Honor, I have a statement from Donald Wright. He presents the police report. 3 years ago, Mr. Wright's notary seal was stolen. He never notarized these documents. This is forgery. A murmur runs through the courtroom. Judge Bradshaw's expression hardens. That's a serious allegation. Craig looks momentarily flustered but recovers. Your Honor, my client obtained these documents in good faith. If there was fraud involved, he was unaware. Your Honor, if I may, Harold continues. The trust document claims Miss Williams' parents owned this property. Her mother died 11 years ago. Miss Williams purchased this house 5 years ago. The timeline doesn't work. This is manufactured evidence. Judge Bradshaw looks ready to rule in my favor. Then Craig says, Your Honor, we have a witness who can testify to the authenticity of the trust and the transfer. My heart sinks. What witness? We call Franklin Cooper to the stand. An elderly man enters the courtroom. He's probably 75, with white hair, glasses, and the slightly stooped posture of age. He moves slowly to the witness stand, is sworn in, and settles into the chair with a grandfatherly smile. Craig approaches him gently. Mr. Cooper, how did you know Richard Williams? Richard was my best friend for over 30 years, Frank says, his voice trembling slightly with age. We met in college, stayed close our whole lives. My mind races. I don't recognize this man. I never saw him at Dad's funeral. Who is he? Did Richard ever discuss property matters with you? Oh yes, many times. Richard was very concerned about his children's futures. He wanted to make sure they were taken care of. Did he specifically mention the property at 847 Maple Street? Absolutely. He told me he'd set up a trust for the house, said he wanted Tyler to have it. Ingrid was so successful with her career, she didn't need it. But Tyler needed stability, a foundation. The words hit me like a physical blow. Hearing these lies wrapped in my father's memory makes me feel sick. When did Richard tell you this? About 4 years ago. We were having coffee, and he showed me the trust documents. Said he'd just finalized everything. He was so relieved to have it sorted out. Craig nods sympathetically. Did Richard express any specific concerns about Ingrid? He loved her dearly, of course. But he worried she worked too much, focused too much on money and career. He wanted Tyler to have the security of a home. Harold stands. Objection, Your Honor. This is hearsay and character assassination. Sustained, Judge Bradshaw says, but the damage is done. Craig continues. Mr. Cooper, did you attend Richard Williams' funeral 2 years ago? Sadly, I was out of the country. My wife and I were visiting our daughter in Germany. I couldn't get back in time. I regretted it terribly. A convenient excuse for why I'd never seen him. Harold cross-examines, trying to poke holes in Frank's story. Mr. Cooper, you claim to have been Richard Williams' best friend for 30 years. Can you describe him? Of course. Richard was about 6 feet tall, thinning hair in his later years, had a wonderful laugh. He loved fishing, hated golf. Always drank his coffee black, no sugar. Every detail is accurate. My chest tightens. What was his wife's name? Margaret. Beautiful woman. Passed away too young, about 11 years ago. Cancer, I believe. Also correct. How does he know this? Harold tries several more questions, but Frank has answers for everything. He's convincing, emotional, seemingly genuine. If I didn't know this was all a lie, I might believe him myself. When Frank steps down, Judge Bradshaw looks troubled. She reviews all the documents again, takes off her reading glasses, and sighs. This is a complex situation. Miss Williams has clear evidence of purchase and occupancy. However, Mr. Williams has presented a deed and a witness testimony that creates reasonable doubt about the underlying ownership. I'm ordering a full investigation into the notary fraud allegation. The county clerk's office will verify the authenticity of all documents. Until that investigation concludes, Mr. Tyler Williams may remain in temporary possession of the property. Your Honor, please, I hear myself say, my voice breaking. That's my home. I have nowhere to go. Judge Bradshaw's expression softens slightly. I understand this is difficult, Miss Williams. The investigation should conclude within 4 to 6 weeks. At that time, we'll reconvene and make a final determination. 4 to 6 weeks. I can't afford a hotel for that long. I have no job, no income. Your Honor, my client will suffer irreparable harm, Harold argues. She's lost her employment due to this situation. She has no access to her personal belongings. Mr. Williams, you're ordered to box up Miss Williams' personal effects and make them available for pickup. Beyond that, my hands are tied until the investigation is complete. Court adjourned. The gavel falls, and my world shatters again. Outside the courthouse, Tyler walks past me with Craig and Amber. He leans in and whispers, "You should just give up. This is my house now." Amber adds, "We're having a housewarming party this weekend. Don't worry, you're not invited." They laugh as they walk away. Harold puts a hand on my shoulder, but I barely feel it. I lost. You didn't lose, Harold says firmly. The judge delayed her decision. We have time to prove fraud. 4 to 6 weeks. I don't have 4 to 6 weeks of hotel money. I don't have a job. What am I supposed to do? We'll figure something out. Let me make some calls. There might be emergency assistance available, or we could file for expedited review based on financial hardship. But I know how the legal system works. Slowly, bureaucratically, indifferently. I drive back to my hotel, crying so hard I have to pull over twice. This isn't just about a house anymore. It's about everything I've worked for, my entire adult life, crumbling in a matter of days because my brother decided he deserved what I'd earned. Thursday morning, I wake up to 17 missed calls from my bank. The mortgage payment bounced. I don't have enough in my account to cover it, and I have no income to refill the account. My house, the house Tyler stole, is going to go into default because I can't make payments on a property I can't access. I call Harold, but he's in meetings all day. His secretary promises he'll call back. I sit in the coffee shop where I've been spending my days, nursing a single cup of coffee I can't afford to refill, watching my savings account drop below $400. My phone rings. It's Susan from my old job, but the call isn't about giving me my job back. Ingrid, we need you to return your company laptop and access badge by Friday. If we don't receive them, we'll deduct their value from your final paycheck. They're in my house. I don't have access. That's not our problem. Find a way, or we'll take legal action. Everything is falling apart at once. I can't think straight, can't plan, can't see a way forward. Friday afternoon, I drive past my house. I know I shouldn't, but I can't help myself. I need to see it, even from a distance. As I slow down on Maple Street, my heart stops. All my belongings are on the front lawn. I slam on the brakes and jump out of my car. Furniture, clothes, boxes, everything I own, dumped in a massive pile on the grass. Rain is starting, dark clouds rolling in. My things are going to be ruined. I run to the pile and start frantically sorting through it. A neighbor, Mrs. Patterson from 3 houses down, hurries over. "Ingrid, what's happening? I saw men carrying all this out an hour ago." Tyler kicked me out, threw away everything I own. "That's your brother? The one who had the wedding here?" I nod, grabbing armfuls of clothes, and throwing them in my car. My hands are shaking. Some of this stuff is already wet. I find a box of family photos, thank God, and secure it in the back seat. My father's watch, still in its case. My mother's cookbook, pages swollen with moisture. But I can't find my mother's jewelry box, the one with her pearl necklace, the one she gave me the week before she died. "Wear these on your wedding day," she'd said, "even though I wasn't dating anyone. They'll bring you luck and love." I tear through the pile, throwing aside clothes and books and kitchen items. The jewelry box isn't here. I know exactly what it looks like, a small wooden box with a rose carved on top. It's not in this mess. Tyler took it, or threw it away. The only piece of my mother I had left, and it's gone. I sink to my knees in the wet grass, surrounded by my soaked belongings, and I sob. Mrs. Patterson calls someone, maybe her husband, and people start coming out of houses to help. Strangers who live on my street, who wave when they see me, who know this is my house. They help me load everything into my car, into their cars, filling every available space. "We can store some of this in our garage," Mr. Patterson offers. "Until you get back on your feet." Their kindness makes me cry harder. Tyler tries to destroy me, but people I barely know are helping save what they can. By the time we finish, it's pouring rain. Everything that couldn't fit in vehicles sits ruined on the lawn. A couch I bought at an estate sale, destroyed. My grandmother's quilt, soaked through. Books I've collected for years, pages warped and bleeding ink. I'm standing there, dripping and defeated, when a sheriff's deputy pulls up. He steps out with a clipboard. "Ingrid Williams?" "Yes." "I have a temporary restraining order filed by Tyler Williams. You're prohibited from coming within 500 feet of this property. If you violate this order, you'll be arrested." I stare at him. "This is my house." "That's for the courts to decide, ma'am. But this order is active immediately. You need to leave now, and not return." Tyler appears in the doorway, watching. He actually waves. The deputy escorts me to my car. I drive away, everything I own crammed into a Toyota Camry and the Pattersons' garage, from the home I bought with my own money. That night, sitting in my hotel room surrounded by trash bags of wet clothes, I call Harold. "He's been trying to reach me," he says. "The investigation into the notary fraud is stalled. The county clerk's office is backed up. Might take 2 months instead of 6 weeks. 2 months. I'll be homeless in 2 months. Ingrid, I'm working on this every day. It's not enough. He's winning. Tyler is destroying my life, and the law is protecting him while he does it." I hang up and stare at the bag next to my bed. Inside is my mother's cookbook, dried out but readable. I open it and find her handwriting in the margins, notes about doubling recipes for family gatherings. A reminder to use real vanilla, not imitation. Hearts drawn next to my father's favorite dishes. My mother died when I was 22, way too young to lose her. She had ovarian cancer, and it took her fast, less than a year from diagnosis to death. In those final weeks, she told me to be strong, to look out for Tyler because he struggled more than I did. She told me family was everything. But family can also destroy you. I remember her last words. "Never let anyone take what's yours, Ingrid. You're stronger than you know. Don't let anyone convince you otherwise." I fall asleep clutching the cookbook, the smell of mildew mixing with faded memories of her perfume. Saturday morning, I wake up to find Tyler posted photos on social media. Pictures of my house, captioned "Home Sweet Home" with heart emojis. Pictures of him and Amber in my kitchen, my living room, my backyard. Comments from friends and relatives fill the thread, confused but congratulatory. One comment from our cousin Rachel. "Wait, wasn't this Ingrid's house? What happened?" Tyler's reply. "Family arrangement, all legal. Ingrid's fine with it. I'm not fine with any of it. I'm drowning, and he's posting selfies in my home." I check my bank account. $273 left. The hotel costs $79 a night. I have 3 more nights, maybe 4 if I skip meals. Then what? My phone rings. It's Harold. "Don't give up yet. I've hired a private investigator to look into Franklin Cooper, the man who testified. Something about him didn't sit right with me. How much does that cost?" "Don't worry about it. Consider it my investment in justice." But I am worried. About everything. About money and housing. And how I'll rebuild my life from this crater Tyler created. Sunday evening, I make a decision. I drive to a quiet park, sit on a bench overlooking a pond, and I think about giving up. Just signing whatever papers Tyler wants, walking away, starting over somewhere else. Maybe it would be easier than fighting. Then I think about my mother's words. About my father, who worked 2 jobs to send me to college, who was so proud when I bought this house. About the principle of the thing. Tyler is trying to steal from me, to rewrite history, to win through lies and fraud. If I give up, he wins, and he'll never face consequences. I text Harold, "Keep investigating. I'm not done fighting." His response comes immediately. "That's my girl. I have news. Calling you now." Harold's voice is excited when I answer. The private investigator found something. Franklin Cooper, the man who testified, is Amber's uncle. I sit up straighter on the park bench. What? His real name is Franklin Cooper, but everyone calls him Frank. He's Amber's mother's brother, lives in Arizona. He's never been to our state, and he certainly never knew your father. The whole testimony was a lie. Can you prove it? The investigator found family photos on social media. Frank and Amber at Christmas 2 years ago. Frank attending Amber's college graduation. There's a clear family connection. Hope, dangerous and fragile, blooms in my chest. What else? More. Amber worked as a paralegal for a firm downtown until 2 years ago. She was fired for falsifying client documents. She was caught forging a signature on a settlement agreement. The firm didn't press charges because they didn't want the publicity, but they fired her and reported her to the State Bar Association. So she has a history of forgery. Exactly. And there's more. The investigator has been watching your house, legally, from public property across the street. He set up a camera that's been recording for 3 days. And Tyler and Amber were practicing testimony in your backyard yesterday. The camera caught it. They were rehearsing what to say if called back to court. Tyler was coaching Amber on how to answer questions about the trust documents. My hands are shaking. That's evidence of conspiracy. It gets better. The camera also caught Tyler meeting with a man in your driveway. They exchanged an envelope. The investigator followed the man. His name is Douglas Hendricks. He's a property developer. Why would Tyler be meeting with a developer? Because he's selling your house. I checked the county records this morning. Tyler listed the property for sale 4 days ago. The developer is buying it for $300,000. The sale is scheduled to close in 10 days. 10 days. Tyler plans to sell my house, take the money, and disappear before I can stop him. Can we stop the sale? I'm filing emergency motions first thing Monday morning. But here's the problem, Ingrid. Even with all this evidence, the legal system moves slowly. The sale might close before we get a hearing. If Tyler gets that money and runs, you might never see justice. I stand up, pacing beside the pond. There has to be something we can do. I'm also filing perjury charges against Franklin Cooper. The district attorney needs to get involved. This isn't just a civil dispute anymore. This is criminal fraud, forgery, conspiracy, perjury, but DAs are busy, and Tyler is a small fish. It might take weeks to get their attention. We don't have weeks. I know. Let me work on this tonight. I have some contacts. We might be able to expedite things. I drive back to my hotel, But I can't sit still. I pace the small room, thinking about Tyler sleeping in my bed, planning to sell my house, counting his money. How did he become this person? The kid who cried when our hamster died, who needed me to chase away monsters under his bed when he was 6. When did he turn into someone who could look me in the eye and destroy me? Monday morning, Harold calls before I'm even fully awake. I presented everything to the DA's office. They're interested. Really interested. White-collar fraud, perjury, conspiracy. This is the kind of case that makes their year. What happens now? They're reviewing the evidence today. The video footage, Franklin Cooper's connection to Amber, her history of forgery, the stolen notary seal. If they move forward, they'll ask Judge Bradshaw for an emergency hearing. If. They have to be sure. Prosecutors don't like losing. But I think we have enough. Tuesday morning, I get the call. The DA is filing charges. Emergency hearing scheduled for tomorrow morning, Tuesday, with Judge Bradshaw. All parties ordered to appear. I barely sleep Tuesday night. I keep thinking about what might go wrong. What if Tyler runs before the hearing? What if the judge doesn't believe us? What if the system fails me again? But I show up Wednesday morning, wearing the same navy dress, standing beside Harold in the same courtroom. This time, it's more crowded. A prosecutor is here, a stern woman in her 40s named Lisa Grant. There are police officers standing near the doors. Tyler walks in with Craig, and his face goes pale when he sees the police. Amber is with him, and she looks scared. Judge Bradshaw enters, and we all rise. She looks at the assembled crowd and frowns. This case has escalated significantly. Prosecutor Grant, you've filed criminal charges? Yes, Your Honor. Fraud, forgery, conspiracy to commit fraud, and perjury. We have substantial evidence that Tyler Williams, with the help of his wife Amber Williams, created fraudulent documents to illegally claim ownership of property belonging to his sister, Ingrid Williams. Additionally, we have evidence that Franklin Cooper committed perjury in his testimony before this court. Judge Bradshaw's expression hardens. That's serious. What evidence do you have? Prosecutor Grant presents everything. The video footage of Tyler and Amber practicing testimony. The financial records showing Tyler's meeting with the property developer. Franklin Cooper's family connection to Amber. Amber's history of document forgery. Donald Wright's police report about his stolen notary seal. Harold adds Ingrid's documentation. 5 years of clear ownership evidence. Craig tries to object, to deflect, but he's drowning. There's too much evidence, too many lies exposed. Judge Bradshaw watches the video footage on a laptop. Her face grows stormier with each minute. When it ends, she looks at Tyler with pure contempt. Mr. Williams, I've been a judge for 23 years. I've seen every kind of scam, every kind of fraud. But this, lying about your dead father, forging documents, committing perjury in my courtroom, this is particularly disgusting. Tyler starts to speak, but she holds up her hand. I'm ordering an immediate investigation by the district attorney's office. Officers, please detain Tyler Williams, Amber Williams, and arrange for Franklin Cooper's arrest. There will be criminal proceedings. Police officers move forward. Tyler's face crumbles. Your Honor, please, I can explain. You'll have plenty of time to explain in criminal court. I'm also voiding all documents presented by Mr. Williams as fraudulent. This court recognizes Ingrid Williams as the sole legitimate owner of the property at 847 Maple Street. Miss Williams, you are restored as owner effective immediately. Officers, please escort Miss Blank Williams to the property and ensure Mr. Tyler Williams' belongings are removed. Relief hits me so hard I almost collapse. Harold steadies me. Additionally, I'm ordering Mr. Williams to pay all of Miss Williams' legal fees, hotel costs, and damages. The exact amount will be determined in a subsequent hearing. Tyler is being handcuffed. Amber is crying, saying she didn't know it was illegal, which is clearly a lie. Craig is backing away from his clients like they're radioactive. Your Honor, Craig says quickly, I'd like to state for the record that I was unaware of any fraudulent activity. My clients misrepresented the facts to me. Then you're either incompetent or complicit, Mr. Patterson. The State Bar will be notified of your involvement. Court adjourned. The gavel falls, and this time, it sounds like freedom. 2 police officers escort me back to my house, my house. The words feel surreal after everything that's happened. Another pair of officers supervises as Tyler and Amber are given 1 hour to remove their belongings. Tyler won't look at me. He packs boxes in silence while Amber sobs in the bedroom. When they're done, when the last of their things are loaded into a car, Tyler pauses at the door. "I'm sorry," he says quietly. I stand with my arms crossed, remembering everything he did. The lies, the cruelty, the systematic destruction of my life. "Are you sorry you did it? Or sorry you got caught?" He doesn't answer. Maybe he doesn't know himself. The police take them away, and I'm alone in my house. It's trashed. Stains on the carpet, holes in the walls where they hung things, damage in the kitchen. But it's mine. I find my mother's jewelry box in the garage, hidden behind boxes of tools. Relief washes over me as I open it and see the pearl necklace still inside, along with her wedding ring and a pair of earrings my father gave her on their anniversary. The next few weeks are a blur of repairs and recovery. Tyler and Amber are charged with multiple felonies. Franklin Cooper is arrested in Arizona and extradited for perjury charges. Craig Patterson is investigated by the State Bar Association. The property developer backs out of the sale, threatening to sue Tyler for fraud. The legal system that moved so slowly to help me moves very quickly to prosecute him. Aunt Patricia drives up and stays with me for a week, helping clean and repair. The Pattersons from down the street bring over dinner 3 nights in a row. Julie, my friend, returns from her work trip and helps me paint over the wall damage. Harold files a civil suit on my behalf against Tyler for damages. The amount adds up quickly. Hotel costs, lost wages from my job, therapy bills for the trauma, repair costs for the house. The total is over $50,000. Tyler will be paying it off for years. I get a new job at a better marketing firm. During the interview, I tell them what happened, expecting it to be a negative. Instead, the hiring manager says, "You fought for what was yours." That's the kind of determination we want here. 3 months after the hearing, Tyler pleads guilty to avoid trial. He's sentenced to 3 years in prison. Amber gets 2 years. Franklin Cooper gets 18 months for perjury. All 3 are ordered to pay restitution. Tyler sends me a letter from jail. I sit on my couch, the one I saved from the rain, and read it. "Ingrid, I know you probably won't believe me, but I am sorry. I've had a lot of time to think about what I did and why. The truth is, I've been jealous of you my whole life. You made everything look easy. Good grades, good job, nice house. I struggled with everything, and it felt unfair. When Amber suggested the plan, it seemed like a way to finally have something you had. I didn't think about how it would hurt you. I just thought about what I wanted. I was wrong. I don't expect you to forgive me, but I wanted you to know that I realize now what I did was horrible. You didn't deserve any of it. I hope someday I can be the brother you deserved. Tyler." I read the letter 3 times. Part of me wants to forgive him, to rebuild what we had. But a bigger part knows some bridges, once burned, can't be rebuilt. Maybe someday, years from now, we can have a relationship again, but not now, not after this. I fold the letter and put it in a drawer. I don't respond. 6 months after the hearing, I host a gathering at my house. Not a party, just a small dinner. Harold and his wife, Julie and her partner, the Pattersons from down the street, Aunt Patricia, people who stood by me, who helped me fight, who reminded me I wasn't alone. We eat in the dining room, the same room where Tyler held his wedding reception just months ago. But this feels different. This feels like home. Later, as I'm cleaning up, Harold helps carry dishes to the kitchen. "You know, Ingrid, I've been practicing law for 30 years. I've seen a lot of cases. But watching you fight this, never giving up even when everything looked hopeless, that was something special. I almost did give up. There was a night I sat in a park and seriously considered just walking away. But you didn't. No. My mother told me never to let anyone take what's mine. I couldn't let her down. Or myself." Harold smiles. "Your mother would be proud of the woman you've become." After everyone leaves, I walk through my house, room by room. The repairs are complete. Fresh paint covers the damaged walls. New carpet replaces the stained sections. It looks better than before, actually. Brighter. Cleaner. Like it went through fire and emerged stronger. I think about everything I learned. That family isn't just about blood. Real family are the people who show up, who support you, who tell you the truth even when it's hard. Harold became more of a brother than Tyler ever was. The Pattersons, who barely knew me, helped save my belongings in the rain. I learned that fighting for what's right is exhausting and expensive, and sometimes feels impossible. The system is slow and imperfect. There were moments I thought justice wouldn't come. But it did, eventually. Not on my timeline, but it came. I learned that betrayal from someone you love leaves scars that don't fully heal. I still flinch when I think about Tyler's smile as he told me my house was his. I still feel angry when I remember the lies about my father. Those wounds are still tender. But I also learned that I'm stronger than I knew. I survived losing my home, my job, my sense of security. I lived out of a car and a cheap hotel. I faced my brother in court and didn't back down. I rebuilt everything from almost nothing. The house isn't just property anymore. It's a symbol of resilience. Every time I walk through the front door, I remember that I fought for this. I earned it twice, once when I bought it, and again when I refused to let it be stolen. I stand in my living room, looking at the photos on the mantle, my parents on their wedding day, me graduating college. Candid shots of dinners and holidays and ordinary moments that felt insignificant at the time but now seem precious. Tyler isn't in many of these photos. We drifted apart years before he tried to steal from me. I used to feel guilty about that distance. Now I understand it was probably inevitable. We became different people, wanted different things, valued different principles. I don't hate him, surprisingly. I'm angry, yes, hurt, absolutely. But hate requires a kind of energy I don't want to spend on him anymore. He made his choices, and now he's living with the consequences. I make myself tea and sit on the couch with my mother's cookbook. I haven't cooked much lately, too busy with repairs and work and healing. But tonight, I think I'll make her pot roast, the one my father loved. The recipe she wrote in careful cursive, with a note at the bottom. This dish always brings people together. Maybe it will help me feel closer to them, to the family I lost, the one that was real and loving and honest. Tomorrow, I'll get up and go to work. I'll make my mortgage payment, on time, from my own account. I'll come home to my house, the one I bought and fought for and defended. I'll keep moving forward, building a life that's mine, surrounded by people who truly care about me. The worst is over. I survived it, and that's enough. So let me ask you something. Have you ever had to fight for what was rightfully yours? Have you ever been betrayed by someone close to you and had to find the strength to stand up for yourself? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories of resilience and triumph. If this story resonated with you, please give it a like. It helps others find it who might need to hear that they're not alone in their struggles. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel for more stories about real people facing real challenges and coming out stronger on the other side. Share this story with someone who might need a reminder that justice, though sometimes slow, does come. That standing up for yourself, even when it feels impossible, is always worth it. Thank you for listening to my story. Thank you for being part of this community. Remember, you're stronger than you think. Never let anyone convince you otherwise. And never, ever let anyone take what's yours without a fight. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other.